Tell me, darling, could we run away? We could hide away by the cactus desert blue. I can see it just a mile away from this crowded place. I could lay there next to you.
Hey friends, welcome back to our channel, Best Freaking Friends Forever. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys would, subscribe down below, comment, like our page or our video. And we have a special guest with us today. We have Lindsay with us today, and we're going to be talking fashion. So we're going to be talking LA Gear shoes. We're going to be talking Guess jeans. We're going to be talking the Hypercolor shirts and the French cut bathing suits.
Yep, these were all trends in the 90s.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like getting to relive my early teens and some of my high school years all over again. It's fun.
Yeah.
Fun research.
Lindsay's our fashionista friend.
Yes.
So she's the one we went to do this episode. So the first one we did was Hypercolor shirts.
Yep, Hypercolor shirts. Early 90s trend. The bigger and baggier the better, so that you could kind of tie them off to the side with your little plastic clip. I had a few of these, and I was just mentioning to both the girls that they're not things that stand up very well in the wash. You would wear them like 1 or 2 times, and then the Hypercolor novelty would go away.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tiffany and I both were watching the commercials for it and noticed like how super sexual the commercials for Hypercolor were.
Yeah.
And that's something that I definitely forgot since I was a kid. But just the whole like being able to touch, being able to blow on, they were very heat sensitive. And of course they came in the 90s neon palette that was so popular. But kind of a fun, useless trend. All those big t-shirts. Tweety Bird was huge in the 90s too.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Hypercolor Tweety Bird shirts. Things that, you know, nowadays you would we would turn up our nose at, like not cute at all.
Right.
And stretch pants.
Yeah. Well, they I found where it said that they struggled to meet demand. So they came out in 91, and they were a very brief trend, because it said they struggled to meet demand. There was poor management, and the demand of it was fading. So it only lasted from February to May. They sold $50 million worth.
Jeez.
Of those, and I didn't get what the retail value was of those shirts. And then they made a comeback in the 2000s as swim trunks.
Mm-hmm. Just in the in mid-2020, the color-changing clothing trend was revived yet again by several online retailers selling color-changing the swim trunks in 2020.
I didn't realize that it had been that brief in the 90s. It felt, I mean, I remember having a shirt, and it couldn't have been that expensive. But I mean, that's a lot of money too, considering such a short rise and fall. Yeah, that quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, February to May, that's what, 4 months?
Yeah. And the company was Japanese, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japanese was the one that came out with the technology for it.
Yeah, for the chemistry on those t-shirts.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I don't remember. Did you have a shirt? I didn't either. No. And I don't remember this being, it must have been maybe a California
Maybe it was more
thing.
West Coast, yeah, because it was big out there for what felt like longer than that. But I would have been, you know, in early junior high, late elementary school. But I just remember the LA Gear shoes and the Hypercolor shirts. And then, of course, stretch pants, like that was big that year.
Right. Well,
it is an American shoe company from Los Angeles, so West Coast, and it's owned by Stock Aficionados LLC is what it started, and it was started by Robert Greenberg.
Yes.
And it was endorsed at first by all kinds of athletes, but the first one was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he ended his career, or he ended his association with Adidas to do this with them. So, yep. And then Malone. Yeah. But see, they weren't afraid like that. They weren't afraid to go outside of sports. Like they went to singers,
and they were the first to do it too.
Yes, yeah. To do that big crossover between different genres of famous celebrities.
Yeah, because they went to Belinda Carlisle. He was huge. Michael Jackson, Paula Abdul, So I mean, yeah, in the 90s.
They made a Michael Jackson
commercial.
Shoe. Well,
shoe.
They made a Michael Jackson shoe, and it was a huge flop. People thought it was. Well, I don't blame them. He didn't make a lot of money in this time frame because they made 22 people. The annual income, gross income we looked up was 22,000. So I'm sure people saw this Michael Jackson shoe, like all a big get up. People weren't going to spend their paycheck on a shoe.
No, and you have several children, in your family, all wanting LA Gear Michael Jackson shoes. And I mean, what was the retail? $52 back then, which was equivalent to about $100 now. So you're looking at $300, $400 for shoes for your kids that are going to last, not long at all.
Right.
Everybody knows how kids go through shoes.
Well, and they were like, so kind of think of it like having maybe a Gucci bag. So it was like you had this LA Gear shoe as a high-end product. Mm-hmm. And what I say is that they sold out to places like Walmart.
Yeah.
So, Kylie Jenner buys this Gucci bag, which I don't even think she buys, though. I think she buys even more higher end. So, you buy this thousands of dollar bag, you're not going to buy that bag anymore if it's now sold to the common folk. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. That's what ruined LA Gear. Right. That's what happened. They had to start high-end quality shoe, sold out to Walmart, and that was the end of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because in 92, their stock sunk, and their founder, Robert Greenberg, he left the company and started Skechers. So started another shoe company.
Yes.
And obviously we bought her Skechers. It's still, you still can get Skechers today. So yeah. Yep.
Well, in LA Gear, they tried to do comebacks, but they were, they did they had the LA Lights.
Yes.
And they sold 100 million pairs.
That's crazy. But, what was the time frame for that?
I didn't see one for that. It was in 92.
Yeah, it would have been very early 90s, but I just remember it being an explosion. I remember, whoever was it at school was in the cool crowd, had the LA Lights, and it was the first light up shoe.
Mm-hmm. 19 Skechers, so Robert Greenberg's company, they began selling a line of shoes branded LA Gear X Skechers.
Ah.
Available with men and women's styles, and they are reissues of the past LA Gear brands under the co-branding and are not connected to the current lines available on their website. So that's kind of interesting that he does that, because he's kind of going against his own past brand that he started. That's kind of crazy that he
is bringing that back. Throwback is huge right now, though. If you look, Adidas, the 90s designs, all back. But that throwback trend, so that doesn't shock me that Skechers and LA Gear, his two companies, are kind of meeting.
Well, yeah, and it's even in entertainment right now, too, the throwback stuff. It's everywhere. Your clothes, your entertainment. So, Guess jeans.
Guess jeans.
Might be Lindsay's favorite.
I think it might be my favorite. When I was researching this, I was watching all the old commercials, and I'd kind of forgotten about the prestige that went along with being a Guess girl. It's mentioned, of course, there was Claudia Schiffer, Brooke Shields were some of the earlier Guess girls, in the earlier 80s. That iconic triangle Tiffany mentioned. All anyone had to do was just look around, at the butts in the hallway, and if there was that triangle on the pocket, you knew it was somebody popular that had more money than the rest of us to buy those jeans. Then it kind of went through, it really shot Anna Nicole Smith to fame. She was not even a known model from Texas, and she became a Guess girl. Someone spotted her in a mall in Texas, and she became the next face of Guess. Guess is very glamorous. Their commercials were always in black and white, very pinup style looking. Guess is a jean that, right now in fashion, could definitely make a comeback because they were very high-waisted, button fly, kind of that mom jean cut that's so popular right now, where it's not skinny, but it's not flare. And I know flares are coming back. Nobody wants that. I hate flare jeans.
We grew up. That was our trend, the flare bell bottoms.
Yeah, because I remember like in middle school, I remember this one girl, she had huge, I love those jeans. Yeah, huge. And then she had these huge platform. Remember platform shoes were big? She had the huge platform shoes, and like the jean was perfect. Like it came right down just enough to where it didn't hit the ground. And I was like, oh my God, I love those jeans. I want those so bad. But I don't even know where she got them. But yeah, that was a big trend for us back in the day.
Well, it's coming back. So
I don't know.
Good news for you girls.
I think I do like just with the skinny jeans or like the leggings, you can just dress that. You can like wear it down or wear it up. Like you can really dress it up. So
yes,
I don't know if I want the bell bottoms to come back.
I don't know. I don't like that. I don't have a whole lot of options for shoes because I feel like you look really bad if you wear tennis shoes or something like that. At least with bell bottoms, I don't know. You have a little more options.
I mean, I remember I was just telling the girls that I spent my entire summer savings. I think it was my 8th grade going into freshman year of high school. I lived out in the middle of nowhere in eastern Nevada, and we went all the way to Idaho to Twin Falls to a mall and to a Guess Jeans. It was my first time ever being in a Guess Jeans store, and I blew, like, those jeans were $125 in 1996, and I blew all that money on one pair of jeans that I wore continuously throughout my freshman year in high school. But they were just the it thing to have. And, it was just this very sexy, feminine image. I don't really remember it being big for guys at all. Like, I don't remember men wearing Guess.
Yeah, well, men don't really necessarily care about fashion like girls do. I just jotted stuff down. Oh, they designed for Marty McFly.
Wow. In the Back to the Future movie?
Yeah. So he's wearing all that denim, and Guess designed all of that just for that movie.
I'm wrong. It didn't make stuff for guys. Those jeans were very tight.
That was just for that movie. So
I bet that his girlfriend wore them in the movie, though, because she had those very, like, form-fitting. Yeah. Jennifer. I still remember her name.
Their first store was in Beverly Hills. And there was, I got that there was 4 brothers that.
Yeah, it's a brother thing. And they began in 81. I think they're Marcianos.
Yep,
so Marcianos. Maurice. What is it? Armand and Paul?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's 4 brothers. And it seems to me like, if I'm not mistaken, they got into arguments about how to do things and how they wanted to work it. Some of the brothers left.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. So the next one, Shelley kind of was the reason why we are doing the next one. Shelley was binge watching Baywatch.
And I was talking to Tiffany about it, and I said, listen, I don't know how these women went to these beaches and wore these bathing suits and had and they were just like nothing. I'm like, there's no way I'd step foot on a beach with a French cut bathing suit on. No way.
Bikini wax all the way.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, like for real. Like you'd have to do all of that, like all the time. I'm like,
It barely covers your bits.
Well, and like we watched, I'm just really shocked because we're doing Saved by the Bell right now.
Yeah, and even in Saved by the Bell, the pool scenes.
Right. Yes. And it's like, it's really odd because I feel like Saved by the Bell tries to stay more on the conservative side as we're watching. I mean, even with the caffeine pills, like it was like such a touchy situation with that episode. And so like for them to have Kelly and Jesse and stuff in the high cut like that, I thought, man, that's really risque for that show.
Well, it's funny because Jesse also guest starred on Baywatch too in one of the episodes.
Yeah, and and she's real tall, so I don't know. I just think like the taller you are, I think it looks better. It doesn't really look well anyway, but
I think it's a very, very hard look to pull off. Like you have to.
You have to rock it. Like you have to go and you have to be very confident in yourself to rock that. I think
you have to have like a perfect hourglass.
Yeah,
I feel like if you don't have that in any way, like I mean, I am not large chested at all, and I just feel like it would flatten me out completely.
Oh, for sure, because it's pulling down.
And then like it would accentuate any hips or butt that you had to a point that's unflattering. You would have to rock it with confidence, and you would have to have that perfect hourglass to really pull it off.
Who is the icon for wearing it? Pamela Anderson.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, she's the iconic, like, that's the body type you're talking about. She pulls it off.
Tall. I don't know how tall Pam Anderson is.
Not tall, no.
No, but, like, I feel the same as you. But then the taller you are, the harder it is to pull off a one piece because everything goes up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And it does not flatter the butt at all.
No.
No. Sorry, girls, if you like them. I just don't think they look cute.
They're not super cute. I mean,
the front is definitely better than the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, like, there's so much maintenance that would have to occur everywhere. So much.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Like,
No.
it would have to be, like, daily maintenance if you were on Baywatch.
Yeah. Yep. But we couldn't find much history on it. Well, one thing I did find was Princess Leia on Star Wars kind of, she's what made it skyrocket even more. So I forgot
about that scene.
Yeah, so the trend was kind of coming into its own, but that scene where Princess Leia is captured.
Yes, in her metal bikini.
Yeah, and she has, like, the real high-waisted thing on the bottom. Like, they designed it, and then because of her, which is Carrie Fisher, because of her, she's what helped that trend really set off. Yeah, so that was the only thing I could find about it. Yeah, but yeah, there's just throughout history, you went from head to toe, there was laws on swimsuits to almost not even being covered.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd go from you had a cap, a little thing on top of the cap, then you had a coat.
I saw pictures of, like,
dress.
These men would come out, like, when they started slowly showing more skin, men would come out and measure from where it ended to their knee to make sure they weren't breaking any rules.
It's crazy.
That is, wow, the things that they did.
That's a progression of only, like, 100 years.
Yeah.
Or less.
Yes.
Because you think 1900, turn of the century, like, we were still completely clothed. Like, nothing, couldn't even show our ankles. And then you go to, well, I guess really it probably would have been the 60s 20s? And 20s, the roaring 20s, yes. When things started coming off.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's
no bras in the 20s.
It is literally yesterday that women were subjected to that kind of behavior.
Yes.
I
think the swimsuit is a kind of a cool symbolic piece for women's progression over the years.
Yeah. Well, Marilyn Monroe, she helped with the swimsuit movement, like, with her wearing different, because women, she was like the first model to really have a curve to her. And so women were like, oh, wow, somebody that really looks like, it's closer to looking like me.
Right.
And so for her to wear something like that and show even more skin helped for us.
Yes.
Because then they started getting lower cut. The top started getting lower cut. So not only was the bottom shrinking or whatever, the top was too kind. Yeah, like you said, you're getting less and less covered. You're getting lower cut. You're going to string bikinis. You're going, Well,
so the bottoms kind of still stayed a little skimpy. You had the bikini bottom still, and then the tan bikini came out. So it kind of helped moms who have, some not appealing stomachs anymore. Kind of helped cover us up a little, but we could still kind of have a cute bottom.
Yeah. There's been a lot of, and then of course now that we were just talking about, Shelley and I, the high-waisted bikini has made a comeback, that really cute retro pinup look.
Yeah, I love that look.
Super cute.
It's probably my favorite out of all the swimsuits.
But guess who hates it in general?
Men.
Men hate high-waisted things.
Tony hates it. He thinks it looks like mom. And like a mom would wear that, and it doesn't look good on your butt.
It does kind of like, and I've struggled with this. Like, I love high-waisted things, and it just depends, I guess, on who you're asking. I think if you ask other women, they love it. If you ask men, not so much. But it does kind of flatten your butt. Like, it's kind of like a movie screen butt.
Well, I think what happens is, like, it's really, really flat, and then you see the curvature. And I think because men want all curve, so I think the flatness of it, when it starts out, kind of hurts the eyes, I think, maybe, for men.
Maybe they should avert their eyes. Stop looking at everyone's butts. But no, for women, like, we love the high-waisted bikinis, that retro look, high-waisted jeans, high-waisted skirt, so cute.
Yes.
It's just very pinup.
I love wearing, I have a pencil skirt, and I love wearing it high up, and I think my butt looks good.
I think I wore a pair of jeans that were high-waisted to work not too long ago, and one of the girls commented, like, your butt looks amazing. But I feel like if you ask a man the same question, again, Tiffany's probably right. It's that flatness and then the curve, where they just want Boom.
Yeah. All right. So that is it. This is fashion. We talked about LA Gear shoes, French cut swimsuits, Guess jeans, and Hypercolor shirts. Did you guys have any of these fashion trends when you were growing up? Let us know in the comments. Do you have a favorite trend now that's happening? Just let us know. This is our BFFF, Lindsay. Welcome her. Leave her a comment in the comments. And this is my BFFF, Shelley. Join us next time, friends, for another great episode.